can't twist my head without the thing falling off. Are you good? Mm-hmm. We haven't done this, what it, for me, feels like forever.
Yeah, me, definitely.
All right, I got you turned up, I think. So, Lou, what are you drinking there, love?
Tea.
Tea? Well, we got a bottle of this. I guess if those who are just listening, they'll have to wait to see what this bottle is. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I am got a little bit of ice with something else in it, so it's good. It does feel like this is forever since we've done this. We are in the outdoor studio. Today's the first day. I can't remember what happened last weekend. I think it was windy. It was really windy. It's been very windy. The sun feels really good. It's supposed to be like 43 degrees, although that's probably the warmest it's been in quite a while, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. No, it feels good.
Feels good. We got a lot of snow. We put all the pups away. We got a lot of snow to my right. Actually, ahead of me a little bit too, but definitely to my right. As well as we fired up the bird feeder, and it took them a couple days to figure out that there's seed there, but they're really enjoying it now. So we got the raw peanuts, the blue jay, a single blue jay has been coming down. We got the suet cakes. I've seen at least one yellow shafted flicker, big old redhead on them, come down, and then I don't know how many of the little birds. There's got to be 4 or 5 different species there, huh?
Yeah, definitely enjoying the seed and entertaining the dogs too.
Yeah, but they don't seem to mind. Okay, so to set this up for you, not you, Karen, but you, listener. Yeah, maybe the 10 of them 10 of you. I mean, I'm all over the place. The 10 listeners that we have. Look at all the water running off those icicles. So the front fence of the driveway, the feeder I needed a place, especially in the snow, and just real quick, I needed to put that shepherd's hook. I needed a place to secure the shepherd's hook, so it's kind of secured to a fence post and the fence, but from the outside. It's hanging on the outside. Some seed can fall on the inside, but when the dogs are out, I think the birds kind of know that there's a fence there to some degree, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so they don't seem to mind the dogs as much, but they're nonstop and steady. Speaking of dogs, they're in behind barking. But first off, I just want to say I need to do a better job of this, love. And I'm not going to go all crazy, but this is just real quick mentions, and we'll talk about it later on. But this is the Pitboss Podcast, brought to you by our very good friends at Molly's Place Sporting Goods, Crabs to Go, Gunner Kennels, Duck Water Boats, Duck Blind Bistro, Turtle Box, Heavy Shot Ammo, not Whaleyville Wagon Tails anymore, but Pitboss Waterfowl. All right, so Molly's Place Sporting Goods, Crabs to Go, Gunner Kennels, Duck Water Boats, Duck Blind Bistro, Turtle Box, Heavy Shot Ammo, and Pitboss Waterfowl. Speaking of Pitboss Waterfowl, it's been a very windy season for me, love. I think you're well aware of this.
Oh, yeah.
Many people might not be. Some people, not many, some people might not be aware of that, but it is. But this past, I can't remember what day it was. Tuesday? I can't remember. It happened one day this week. Alex Abraham, a very good friend, shall we say, from afar? Does that, well, at least 2 hours away.
Yep.
Right. Alex Abraham, Havre de Grace, Maryland. There goes a blue jay with a peanut. I was born in Havre de Grace, lived in Hartford County pretty much all my life, and got to dog train with Alex Abraham way back in the day with my original dog, Coot. If you've ever seen the original Avery Sporting Dog logo, that was Alex. I took the picture. It was Alex Abraham's dog, chocolate dog, Jackson. So he was the original dog, kind of leaping, nice side profile. They trimmed him. They trimmed up his gear, his junk up a little bit underneath because he was hanging. But yeah, that was Alex's dog. And Alex texted me, sadly, that Richard Barnes had passed away. And I think I text you instantly, and I text Scott Moody instantly, just to get you guys in the loop real quick. Scott pretty much texted me back that Alex had texted him too, so that was good. But I just want to make sure Scott knew. And why was it important for Alex and Scott? Well, definitely for Scott to know, and or Alex. Way back in the day, my original dog. I guess I'm going to rewind even more. Richard Barnes is my dog OG mentor. Really, I've had a lot of people help me since then, but Richard Noble Barnes. I had it open November 8th.
What's OG?
Original.
Okay.
Original gangster.
Okay.
I mean, hey, honestly, he may have been one of the first people that I ever saw daily wear a Rolex.
Oh, yeah.
He wore a Rolex daily. So I don't know what status that gives him, but November 8th,
He didn't have kids and a wife.
Well, his wife they were not together.
Okay.
When I met him.
Okay.
The old joke was super nice farm. My mom was a Mason farm in Darlington. My mom's original house, actually, the backyard touched the Mason property. She says that she used to go down when she was a child, probably in the 1940s, probably before Richard was born, and go and skate on his. Had very little pond there, but she would go down and skate on his pond. But the joke was with him and his wife that whoever died first, the other one won the lottery because that they got sole ownership of the farm. I'm saying this is fact. This way I remember it. I won't go into all the details, but evidently Richard was not in the wrong, and she left, so he got the farm. And super nice farm, nice piece of property. I can't remember how many acres it was. Had a nice stream running through it. It was great for dog training. Had a pool. We would run water blinds through the in-the-ground pool.
Really?
Yeah, there were steps. There were steps on both sides of it, so it was pretty easy to run a water blind through the pool. Just catch a little piece of water and keep going on. I'm all over the place. So November 8th, 1948 to January 7th, 2025. So Richard is, and will be my original dog mentor. So I got Coot from Roy Scahill. I had no idea what I had. And Scott Moody actually had a puppy when I first met Scott, Gage. Gage. What was that sound?
I don't know.
That happened earlier.
Can I look?
Yeah, good. That was the pellet grill, right? She says she thinks so. So off to my left, we have the camp chef fired up with 3.4 or 5 pounds. It looks good, love. What are you touching it for? What's wrong?
I just want to make sure the plastic thing wasn't under.
Oh, no, that's a good idea, but now I was very conscious of that. Where are you going? Oh, you think ice is falling? Maybe that's what we're hearing. We may have heard ice fall on the metal roof of Pitboss World Headquarters. We good? I'm going to wait for you to get your headgear back on. What's wrong?
It smells okay. Let's see if it's getting stronger.
That strong is? Smell is? I did put cherry wood in the smoker box. You can put your headset on or not?
I was just thinking about how drink we're going to be enjoying and wanted to get my information.
Oh, all right. So Scott Moody. There was 2 pups, Gage and Gunner. And Scott had Gage and Kurt Zuloff had Gunner. But I quickly found out that I wanted to train Coot. And I just remember Scott saying, we go up to Richard's pretty much every night. And he's like, I'll see what I can do to get you, I just can't show up, right? Mm-hmm. So need to get semi-invited. So I'll see what I can do. But at the same time, Scott was showing me everything that they were doing that I was doing. And Scooter, Coot would have been like in the 4 to 5 months old range. Put a pinch collar on her, and I just remember Scott was just like obedience. So I was doing obedience with her, but I wasn't up to Richard's yet. And I can't remember exactly how old she would have been when I got up to Richard's. I believe that she was force-fetched. I know she was force-fetched. And I did it on my own with the help of Dennis Whitmer and from over in Dorchester County. And I think before I got to Richards, I know she was force fetched. My best recollection. So it would have been basically, I gunned her when she was 6, 7, 8 months old. She would have been 6 months old in September, so I gunned her through that season. I force fetched her, let's say in March and April, and I bet you it would have been like May or June when I finally got to Richards. And Richard, being Richard, kind of just sat back and watched her, and eventually he's like, Jeff, he says, you could bring that little bitch back anytime you like. So he was impressed with her. She had a lot of go, a lot of spunk, and he liked that in dogs. And so anyway, that's how I got to Richards, through Scott Moody. And I knew of Alex, but that's when we really became closer friends. Alex lived right down the road from my mom, down a Wheel Road off 543, Fountain Green Road. And that was my first recollection of Alex. We're down in Richards, and Alex drives down the lane. It's a pretty good lane to get down in there, off Main Street in Darlington. And he had a Porsche Boxster. It's a little two-seater. And Jackson was sitting in the passenger seat of the Boxster. And Richard would just always shake his head at Alex. Maybe he had to be there, but I'm telling you, if you can picture a Porsche, I believe it was red, a Porsche Boxster, two-seater with the top down, and here comes Alex driving down with the chocolate dog, and he had goggles on him.
He did.
Old Jackson. Oh yeah, great memories from Richards Farm in Darlington. I got the Diamond dog. That was a Richard breeding, and it was. When I got the text message, did I cry? No. But I was definitely very, very sad. So much so that kind of this past, I don't know, in May, maybe it was, we were coming back from Joe Johnson in Greenwood, right? And I was like, you know what, man, I haven't talked to Richard in forever. And I'd see Richard. I really would. So let me rewind a little bit, too. So this timeline, Coot would have been like 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. In that time frame, we... Richard helped me a lot. He got us, he taught me how to dog train. Dennis helped me with force fetching, and Richard taught me everything else. Back to the pile, stop it on the whistle, and everything else that was involved with that. We trained for field trials every day, white coat, but basically, Coot was a very young master. I don't want to talk about Coot, make it about Coot, but very young master hunter. But we trained for field trials every day. Eventually, I did get her qualified all age field trials. The Diamond dog had a couple Derby points. Through Richard, Alex and I got to go throw birds. This sounds really exciting. We got to go to work. We got to go to work for Ed Forey. But with Ed Forey, although we had probably a good 24 dogs that we threw birds for daily, 5 days a week, Alex and I got to run our dogs at the end. So we got to train our dogs. And then that was in the morning. Or daytime, let's say, and a lot of times we'd still go back at Richards in the evening when we'd dog train again. So I'm trying to make sure that I followed my story the best. So that was in the early 2000s. There were 3 years that I went to South Carolina. Kind of again through Richard. Alex and I drove down together a couple times. I remember I had an issue with my truck one time. We'd go back and forth. We'd try to spend a good 6, 7, 8 weeks down there, as much as I could afford, money-wise, time-wise, right, because it was right after duck season. Try to go down and deprogram. It sounds goofy, but to deprogram Coot from hunting and get her to run long. I can remember the one field that Ed used a lot. These are all-age marks that he was training for. He had all-age dogs, field champions. Amateur field champions. There's a crate of birds after the fact. We're running we did the marks, and there's a crate of birds out there, and you had to run a blind by it. And Coot would go, wait, there's let's pull up. There's a crate of birds there. I need to stop and check these out. But the blind's another 150 yards past the crate. But kind of deprogrammer from the rigors of, in those days, 107 days of the sea duck season, which I did not hunt all 107 days, but a good 90 of those days. We did with Donald Hughes. We did something, so that's kind of all in that era. Donald was there, Richards in South Carolina, and I would again, where am I going? So that's the front side of it. Of a little bit more of the back side, the front side, the back side, the side, I don't know. But more information on the story. But yeah, so this May, we were coming back from Joe Johnson's one time, and I had not talked to Richards in a while, and I called him, and he gave me, Jeff who?
Yeah.
I was talking on the speaker in the van. But anyway, that's kind of how he greeted me. But I made it a point, not necessarily every week, but I would say every week to 2 weeks. If you want to pick a number, I'd say every 10 days or so. I just kind of reach out to him. When I started training over at Newt's, David Barrow, he'd asked about Richard, so I was like, I'd call him and say, hey man, David asked about you today, and he'd say, man, is the key still there? I'm gonna come down and train one day, and he did come down for Newt's funeral, but I would just kind of keep up with him. I know he wasn't feeling 100%. He would tell me he had a stomach issue, but never really got into it a whole lot. And evidently that's really what he passed from. But I guess I told Alex that I called Alex after I got back, and I told Alex that I appreciated him, thinking of me and telling me that Richard had passed away. And Alex kind of went back and said, man, that's where we started. That's going to Richard's in the evenings. That's how we got started in this. And our paths have been different. Alex, Alex, and our path has been much different. I've said this before. I'll say it again. The joke was with Alex and I, man, if we had a half of an all-age point, that would be like we had a field champion. We're training with guys, that do. Alex, Richard had okay. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I'll slow down. If we had a half on all age point, that would be like us having a field champion. And to rewind, Richard, one of his first dogs was Shadow, a black dog. He liked to tell stories of Shadow getting gunned over in New Jersey, and how snowy it was, how cold it was, and some of the blinds that Shadow was running for him. Richard got to be in my mind, it was 1983 or 85. I should know these dates a little bit better, but the first Master National was actually held Maryland and Delaware at the C&D Canal lands, and Richard got to run Shadow as the official test dog of the first Master National. And I guess if I'm going to have to guess, I said guess twice. I'll say it's 1985 if I had to pick between the two, but it's 83 or 85, but I'll say 85. So that was one of his first dogs. His first amateur field champion was Boot, Susquehanna body Boot, and I did get to see Boot. We buried Boot up on the hill. I remember Mike Hopkins was there, Alex was there, and before we trained one night after Boot had passed, Richard went and got the old tractor. I guess it was a Ford, not a New Holland then, but where he had buried all his dogs up on the hill, we buried Boot. He fired his over and under a couple times for him, and then he had a son of Boot, was a field champion, amateur field champion, Susquehanna drift netter. His name was Drifter, a very, 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 very dark red, fox red lab. Richard got to actually get to the 7 series of the National. That is falling ice, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. The National Open, which I believe would have been in Idaho, but I remember some stories there where Richard got to the 7 series. Didn't get to the top, climbing the mountain, but he didn't get to the top of the mountain. But he did pretty well with Drifter. And then Amber was a littermate of Drifter, and that was the Gates High-Tech CEO breeding that he got a dog. He kept a dog Whacker. We got the dog Diamond, a female out of that, and Alex got a dog Sculler out of that. So, and then for those of you who do not know, love, there's another hunt request. That's crazy. Mm. This time of the year, I guess some of the videos currently on Instagram.
Don't change topics yet.
Oh, come on, love. Let me go off on a tangent. Anyway, where am I at, please? Sculler. Oh, so those who don't know, Alex eventually, he had a dog, Star, which I took some pictures of her holding she was like 5-6 weeks old, retrieving one of the Avery puppy teal. Alex got that dog to be a field champion, amateur field champion, and the Scoter. There's some of Star's blood is in Scoter, so that was kind of cool. That was one of my attractions when I saw the breeding. When you sent me the breeding, the pedigree of. I'm going to go off a little bit tangent. When you sent me the pedigree of what Scoter is, Alex was in there, Gates is in there, a new cropper was in there, a dog of Newt's was in there, the Blue Jays back. And those who don't know, Alex eventually got the Tucker dog, and I think Tucker's like the number 25 all-time, all-age point dog in field
He's
trials.
in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he just got in the Hall of Fame this year, so congratulations, Alex, on that with Tucker. And but I don't know, Tucker had 270 all-age points, something like that. But anyway, I mean, time passes, and so Alex, yes. So I called Alex, thanked him for thinking of me, and I did tell him the story about, man, I actually felt very bad that like I had stopped calling Richard in once the season started. I just got out of my routine. And
Canada.
Yeah, just everything was going on, and Alex, super nice. Like, man, you shouldn't worry about that. I was like, I do feel bad about that. Like, within every 2 weeks, I was calling him, just saying, hey, what's up? And he'd ask about the dogs, and I would tell him what we're doing, and just kind of, I don't think he was doing much dog training, honestly. I think he would run up to on the Cecil County side, Gabby's, and he would do a little training with the dog that he had. I can't remember what that dog's. Bosun, I think was the dog's name. I don't know. But anyway, I did feel bad that I kind of stopped calling. So what's the moral or the lesson of that one? You never know what's going to happen, so you probably should not pass up opportunities to stay in touch with people. What do you think? I've been rambling, love. I want you to talk.
No. I mean, it's good advice. It's advice I should take because I am horrible. Maybe I'll be the worst person I've ever met to keep up with people. So,
well, I just did. You know what? I guess I will say that I took him for granted, but I was like, fuck, he'll be around. Richard's Richard, tough old guy. He'll be, like he's telling me he had some issues, but I'm like, fuck, he'll who thinks somebody's going to die, right? I don't think. Yeah,
I mean, and if people aren't well, doesn't mean that we want to share their health issues with you either. So he did have some problems that you did know of, but recently he just wants to chat about old times with you. He doesn't want to talk about what he's all dealing with.
Anyway, my point in all that was I felt bad. I told you I felt bad. I mean, I definitely told Alex I felt bad, like, because I just kind of lost contact there I definitely had lost contact in between when I reached back out to him. It just was, I was trying to make effort to make sure that I reached out to him, and I stopped reaching out to him in there just because it's an easy excuse to say we get busy and life gets busy, but I did, and I do. That's my excuse. So I don't know.
Well, at least you get to have his memories, or the memories you have with the time spent with him and the dogs.
Yeah, no, I got some great memories, honestly. And
it wasn't digital photography age, but you do have some video and some pictures.
Yeah, if somebody wants to get on, they shouldn't be that far down now. If you want to get on Instagram or Facebook, I invited Richard down. It was Donald's lease in Secretary, Dorchester County, Cabin Creek, and we invited Drifter. Actually, I had Diamond along. I would bet that the goose limit was two birds then. Anyway, he drove down. I asked him, I said, man, if you want to come down, I had a hunt in the morning. If you want to come down in the afternoon, let's shoot some geese, bring Drifter down. It was just he and I in the blind. Nice stand-up line. We sat there, talked. Diamond was was related to Drifter as well as, I keep saying Alex and Richard intertwined. It was a Richard breeding, and it was just I got some nice pictures of Drifter running out there and retrieving birds. I had him down at sea duck hunting a couple times. He didn't bring a dog when we sea duck hunted, but the goose hunts he definitely brought Drifter down. So
yes.
We went to the canal lot, trained there. We went over basically wherever Ed went to Craig Stonecyphers and trained a lot. We went over to Hank McNeil's in New Jersey and trained a lot. And again, like down in South Carolina. So anyway, just we get older every day, and yeah, nothing stays the same, right? Nothing stays the same.
You don't even have to get older.
Yeah.
It just comes under the title, shit happens.
I want to try to do this right now. I'm going to not take a break, but we're going to stop this. And with the old D3 TV, DVDs and TV, I'm hoping that the video turns out well. If you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, the audio should definitely be good enough for the podcast. But this would have been the first year of the DVD series. We went to Richard's, and again, why are we at Richard's in Darlington? Because Richard's my dog guru. Richard's my dog mentor, and as well as bodybuilding on the old Wild Goose out on the Susquehanna Flats, and the era that Richard grew up in as far as shooting geese, more geese than ducks, but shooting geese. The video should show some, as I recall, I haven't ripped it off yet, the DVD, but it should show some good pictures, older pictures of when Richard was younger. A lot of, I think, as I recall, black and white, and kind of walk through the house, Richard's house, a little bit, and shows some decoys and some guns and that type of thing. So anyway, I hope if you're watching on YouTube, you enjoy it, as well as the audio should be pretty good. So.
The two decoys on the left-hand end there are by R. Madison Mitchell from Havertygrass, and Madison was an undertaker in Havertygrass, and a very distant cousin of my father's. And back in, I think, I'm pretty sure it was 1968, the Corcoran's, I had Madison make me 50 of them because I was body booting on the Susquehanna Flats with the old Wild Goose rig, and that one I saved and didn't put in the water ever, so it's in original condition, just like it came out of the shop. But it was kind of funny, one of the traditional pastimes of undertakers in this country has been cabinet makers, and they used to make their own caskets and things like that. Well, kind of around this part of the country, some of the undertakers carved decoys instead of being cabinet makers. And my old buddy Jack Ulrich, he was an undertaker from over in Baltimore County. He made this one right here, and they kind of got into doing that. Mr. Mitchell, he was finally to the point where people were asking him to make birds all the time for decorators, for people to collect and things like that. And he had this book here that you go in and he'd put your order in the book. Okay, and people be in there, I want a pair of this and I want a pair of that, and they would wind up being, something just to put on the mantle. Well, I went in there with Captain Mark Smith years ago, and Mr. Mitchell, he vaguely knew who I was, but he knew my dad pretty well. And Mark and I walked in there, and he owned a cabin boat that we body booted off of, and so went in there and I said, Mr. Mitchell, I'd like to get some new goose decoys for the rig. And he said, you boys body booting? He says, yep. And he said, how many you want? And I said, well, it depends on how much they cost. And so he said, well, they're $10 a piece. Well, Mark Smith was working for Conowingo Power up here at Susquehanna, on the Susquehanna River at the dam at Conowingo. And Mark said, well, Mr. Mitchell said, I can get you some nice cedar poles that they just took down off of one of the power lines. And will that make any difference in the price? And Madison says, well, I'll tell you what, you boys are going to use these birds for gunning, aren't you? I said, yes, sir. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, you make it $9 a piece, and I want the cedar poles, because they like cedar poles to make the bodies for the birds out of. And so we went in there. It was probably in the springtime, April or May. And he says, don't worry, boys, I'll have your birds ready for you this fall before gunning season starts. And we had our birds ready for, back in those days, the goose season started about the third week in October. And we had our 50 birds ready, and I'm sure there was dozens and dozens of people that wanted birds to stick on the mantle that didn't get theirs till the next year or so. But that's kind of a story about getting those birds from Madison Mitchell years ago. This is a picture of me when I was probably 21 or 22. With in the background, 3 of these decoys are the same Court Madison Mitchell birds that I talked about before. Right in front of me in the picture is a well, some people call them John Gooses and things like that, but they were just a silhouette with a head that stretched out straight to hide your gun barrel, and a box built into the back of the silhouette to put your shells in, and it was driven down into the sand with a long pole, and then you had a cotter key, which as the tide went up and down, you raised and lowered the silhouette with the tide, and as you did that, you hunkered down behind the silhouette to hide from the birds when they were coming in. And it was a pretty effective way. It's not legal anymore because when you're body booting, you have to stand on the natural bottom. But we shot a lot of ducks and geese back in those days. That was probably a pretty good day because it was a little bit overcast and the picture was taken out across the flats and you can't see any land. You know, and the decoy makers around here, you know, it's been neat. You know, like Jeff Coates, he's one of the young guys making decoys, and he's making them to gun with, mostly. And that's the way the old-timers would do it, And, we, us folks around here, I guess we just like, our ducks and dogs and decoys. And, it's kind of been a wonderful place to be for all my life.
All right, so that was way back in the day. If I have to say what date it would have been the summer of, I feel confident, of 2006. 2006. 2006. What does that make it? Almost 20 years ago, right?
Done, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, man. Richard Barnes, he never, to my knowledge, he did not partake in any of the brown water, but I would bring a 12-pack of Heineken. He loved the green bottles. So Heineken beer is what I used to always bring Richard. Richard always was smoking a cigarette. And why do I wear Red Wing Picos? You don't know what those are?
Mm-mm.
My old pool.
Shoes.
Yeah, the pull-on boots.
Oh.
Because Richard wore Picos. That's why I have 3.
They come in your size. You don't wear them.
I do.
You just have three pairs.
I do have size 13, which my feet they're a little
size 15.
A little double E's. I do have one set. But anyway, that's why I wear Picos. That's why I have a set of Picos, and I have not worn them recently. You know what? Fuck.
How long we been together for?
I've worn them with you and I.
One time. You could not wait to get them off.
Well, I'm going to start wearing them again just in honor of Richard. And I'm telling you, I think it was a Submariner, but Richard's the first person that I was around that wore a Rolex. He would actually take his cigarettes and he would fucking pack them on his Rolex.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he put them out on his Rolex.
No, he would pack them down. Geez. He would pull one out and he'd go, back it down. So, Richard Barnes, I will remember you, much like I remember Donald Hughes. I will remember you. And you want to say anything before I shut this down?
No, because I didn't get to meet the man. No,
you just heard him a couple times.
Yeah.
Well, I'll remember Richard Barnes till I'm gone. How about that? Because anytime that I look at a dog, I'm going to think about Richard Barnes, and I have.
Yeah, when you call Skoda Coot.
I do.
And Coot Skoda.
Yeah, sometimes I do that. But All right, Richard Barnes, again, salute to you, my friend. Rest in peace. I hope you're in a better place, not in pain. And salute. I know you didn't drink.
What?
What?
He didn't drink?
He did not drink whiskey.
Oh, whiskey. Oh, I thought
I said he liked Heineken.
Oh.
Fuck no, he drank.
was going to say Rolex, cigarettes,
and
man
Heineken
drinks.
beer.
Okay.
Come on. Come on. But anyway, salute to you, Richard, sincerely. All right, this is the memorial episode. Richard N. Barnes, Richard Noble Barnes, November 8th, 1948. November 8th, 1948. To, sadly, January 7th, 2025. Richard, thinking of you we are. So we appreciate listening to Pitboss Podcast, brought to you by our very good friends at Molly's Place Sporting Goods. I just did I recorded. I still need to edit and get the commercial done for them. Right now, they're having their end of season. Excuse me, I didn't hit the button. The end of season hunting sale. 25% off. There's a 25% off. There's a 20 off and a 20 off. I can't remember all what I just said in the commercial. But anyway, go to mymollys.com. MyMollys.com. The Molly's Place Sporting Goods, easily found in Kennedyville, Maryland. Up next, Crabs to Go. Today is the NFL, because it is Sunday, is the NFL special. Oh, shoot, love, we missed kickoff.
Okay.
All right, we missed kickoff. It is the NFL special. Buy 2 pounds of shrimp and get a third pound for free, either steamed or raw. Crabs to Go is easily found on Route 50 and 589. In Ocean City or Berlin, Maryland? In Berlin.
Berlin.
All right.
Yeah.
Crabs to Go, thank you very much. Gunner Kennel, man's best kennel, gunner.com. The T350 is loaded with man's best kennel. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but the T350 is going to be headed south with the pups and Gunner Kennels. We appreciate everyone at Gunner Kennels. Man's best kennel, man's best bumper. Gunner Kennels, gunner.com. Up next, punishing the docks and rocks, and most recently in a lot of snow. It is Duckwater Boats, duckwaterboats.com. Steve Hoover, we appreciate you very much. Thank you. We are in the Ocean 32, the world's largest duck boat. Hey, I'm going to just say something real quick. People get on me that I say that that's the world's largest duck boat. It's a production boat. Steve makes them. He's made 4 of them. So any 32 Ocean is the world's largest duck boat. All right? You know, people want to take me to task because I say that. That's Steve's line. It is.
Is it? I thought it was a Jeffism.
No. Well, maybe. Yeah. No, but I mean, the first time how did I know about Ocean 32? Steve posted up Rod Merritt's world's largest duck boat.
I think I remember that day, actually.
Steve planted the seed right from the get-go. But anyway, punishing the docks and rocks. If you're looking for a new duck boat, a used duck boat, check out duckwaterboats.com. Up next, love, it's off to your left, is Turtle Box. We love Turtle Box. TurtleBoxAudio.com. I need to do a lot of things, but we're going to implement into our dog training, specifically the hunt test dog training. I've got from all the hunt test, all the video that you got. I'm going to make an audio track, and we're going to take Turtle Box wherever we got to train. I'm just going to blast it loud. Yep, while we're dog training. So we appreciate everyone at TurtleBox.com, TurtleBoxAudio.com. Excuse me, Turtle Box. Live loud, but I think their tagline should be the ultimate Bluetooth speaker. Up next is Heavy Shot, HeavyShotAmmo.com. Excuse me, HeavyShot.com. I bet you if you type in Heavy Shot Ammo, it'll come up too. But they have the Molly's exclusive. They're the manufacturer of the Molly's exclusive Chesapeake Heavy Hammer. Comes in 12 gauge, 20 gauge, and this year 28 gauge. It's an awesome shell. It's a good mixture of heavy shot and steel. HeavyShot.com. We appreciate everyone there. And Pitboss Waterfowl. I believe I booked my first official trip for the 2026-27 season. So pitbosswaterfowl.com. Thank you very much for anyone that is interested in shooting sea ducks with us. Most recently, again, I guess with all the social, I'm trying to stop saying social media. With all the media that I put out there, the personal media, the professional media. I'm not saying social media. I gotta retrain myself.
Instagram, Facebook, yada yada.
But the best performing reel is at 26.5 million views, and it's all hate. It's all hate, but it keeps growing. But anyway, from that. It's crazy how many people see that and like they step away from the hate and they just call me and say, hey man, we want to come do this,
Well,
or email me, we want to come do this.
the amount of inquiries you've gotten is insane.
It really is. It really is. But we appreciate everyone reaching out to us. Oh, there goes the snow right off in front of us. We may not be, our price point may not be for everyone, but we do our very best to provide an awesome experience. So if you want to try to go shoot sea ducks, and we have the lodging done here sometime. Put your cross fingers.
10 years.
Put your cross fingers. No, to them, not to me.
No, I thought we were going to do
okay,
like.
boom. Oh, here.
Yeah.
Here, I'll come over on your side. All right. Enough of this. Again, Richard Barnes, this is all about you, my friend. And man, I hope you're in a better place. So, we appreciate you for taking the time to tune in, and our little podcast is growing. So, we appreciate everybody that listens and or watches. So, it's all positive, all good. We're just trying to do our best we can.
Goals this year is to try and sort out a online platform to have some guests on.
Yes, 100%. All right, enough of this. As always, thinking of you, we are. Boom.